Kelly. Senator Budd, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good to see you all again. I enjoyed our conversations earlier and this week in my office. The National Defense Strategy, it's clear that protecting our homeland is our military's #1 priority. And one of the greatest threats to the security of the American people is the crisis at the southern border. Now, as we talked about, although DOD is not the lead federal agency responsible for securing the border or enforcing immigration laws, if confirmed, you'll both play a critical role in stemming the flow of illegal immigration and combating drug cartels plaguing our country with fentanyl. So, General, if confirmed, you would oversee training and mobilization of more than 2,500 National Guardsmen supporting the Customs and Border Patrol at the border. Admiral, if confirmed, you would be responsible for Southcom's efforts to combat transnational criminal organizations profiting from human trafficking and drug trafficking. And that ultimately harms our communities across the country, including communities in my home state of North Carolina. So my question is this: if confirmed, will you both make these efforts a top priority? I'd appreciate a simple yes or no answer. General?
Yes, Senator.
Admiral?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you both. General, in your advanced policy questions, you state that you're proud of the National Guard's support of the border mission, their support of it, right? But yet you make it a point that it doesn't add readiness value. Can you help me understand that a little better?
Senator, first off, I'd like to thank the committee for the funds that they provide for our counter-drug program. 2,500 of our folks are out there doing and supporting across the United States. And in 2023, $10 billion worth of illegal drugs were taken off the street. So thank you for the efforts on our counter-drug program. As we go to the southwest border, we want to make sure that the readiness is not getting added. So while they're on the southwest border, they're doing advise and assist monitoring. They're in support of Customs and Border Patrol so that they can do their law enforcement along there. They're not back home training for great power competition missions. They're not back home with their families and their employers getting set up so that the next time they're asked to deploy overseas for a combat role that they're have that more spin for the National Guard. We've seen a very consistent that our service members continue to be retained at a high level, and so they appreciate the deploy to dwell that they have. But every time we send them to another location, it does take them away from their families and from their employers, and we can't use them to train for great power competition.
Thank you for your leadership on this. General, I think the part that's not said is the emphasis and the need to have strict enforcement of our immigration laws and fully allow Border Patrol to secure a border so that the Guardsmen under your watch and care can get back to preparing for potential conflict with our adversaries. Admiral, earlier this week in my office, we had a great discussion regarding the lengthy and bureaucratic processes that our allies and partners face in the foreign military sales process. So how does the current FMS process hamper efforts with partners in places like Panama, Colombia, that could help those countries stem the flow of migrants, illegal migrants, or combat drug cartels?
So, Senator, I understand your concern. It's a very long process.
Yes.
There are a lot of different, as you term, wickets to go through to get the letter of acceptance to go back to whether it's a ship or a service the company's going to go to. So it takes a lot of time. And you want to generally make sure you're checking all the boxes and make sure you get it right. That's part of it's just really bureaucracy, right? So again, and our partners are waiting for these tools. If they don't get them, then they look elsewhere. So right now, what we're trying to do is working with Ex-Im Bank and others to find other ways to deliver quicker. And so again, we had a Chief of Mission conference this past May, had a chance to bring in the Ex-Im Bank president, share that story with and how she's willing to help and others avenues to go after things outside the process. And we're seeing some results that we might be able to train to and get better results. Over.
Thank you for that. Would you mind sharing with the committee the example of the Maritime Patrol aircraft that took personal involvement from General Richardson in order to get it delivered?
Yeah, yes, very briefly, I think the aircraft have been stalled for over 2 years. And her first visit with the president, he asked about that aircraft, and she came back and really got personally involved. And 3 months later or so, the plane was delivered, And she was able to go there, and the president was actually there at the reception, along with some of his cabinet members. So it's a great process if we get it to work.
So in closing, I'll ask you this. If confirmed, Admiral, do you commit to keep the committee updated on similar issues so that we can work together to improve the FMS process?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Budd. Senator Schmidt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral, I have some questions for you. Thank you for being here.